that. We're going to come back to some of your super chats in a moment. Arsenal today, the fans are pushing for a Mohamed Kudus deal. We know that they've lost Bukayo Saka for at least 2 to 3 months until he is fully fit. The manager has said that they're not going to go into the market and they're going to look to work with what they've got. But I don't think anybody believes that. Is Mohamed Kudus the guy? Is that who they should throw all their money at? What we saying?
I think that's who they should go for, because that shows everyone that they're serious. Oh, our best player, arguably their best player, gets injured for 2 months, could derail their Premier League title challenge. Go and be serious. Go and show Liverpool. Go show Hussam that this league ain't over. Because at the moment, these Liverpool fans, mate, it's Christmas, yeah, and these guys are laughing. The league's done. It's over. Yeah, but if they go out and sign a Kudus or something like that in the first week of January, second week of January, follow it up with maybe another player towards the end of top quality, all of a sudden people will be thinking, hang on a minute, maybe it's not over. But, you know, I think you've got to go off the history of Arsenal in these 2 last title races, and they've not done that. So I think he's probably telling the truth, to be honest. I don't think they are going to do anything serious. They might pick up a player, but I very much doubt it'll be a serious player. It'll be like I don't know, like another Sterling or something like that. And yeah, I mean, this is just the truth, man. It's a massive blow.
I think Arsenal not spending 80 million in January. Let's just be honest.
Why
have they ever done
that? Why not?
I get it. Why not? Yeah, why? What breakdown?
Why? Because I could look and track your recent movements and your recent actions. Be like, are you someone who tends to do that? No. When have Arsenal ever went out in January, especially, and spend 80 million?
No, I agree they're not going to do it, but why are they not going to do it? Why are they not going to do it, bro?
Because it's not in their nature to do it. When have they done it? That's the point I'm trying to make.
It's not in their nature to win trophies. At what point are people going to turn around to Arsenal and say, so what are you going to do, man? You're going to keep.
You're saying they should. What's it, LB? You're saying they should, and I'm not disagreeing with you. Everything you said is spot on. If they go and spend 80 million for Kudus and bring him from another team in London to make up for the loss of Saka, I'll be like, you know what? I'll hold my hands up. I'll be like, good job. You've acted like a big club. But I've never seen that from them. The one time they made a very big move like that was Declan Rice, and that wasn't it wasn't in January. It was the summer. And that's it. People were saying Aubameyang in the chat. Aubameyang wasn't 80 million. What are we even talking about right here?
Why do you guys never look at transfers from a player perspective? So put yourself in Kudus' shoes, okay? Yeah. Kudus is going to be the starter for 3 months. So what happens when Saka's back?
He can play inside.
When Saka's back, what are you talking about?
He can play inside as well.
No, when Saka's back, where is Kudus going?
He can play inside. He can play down the middle.
Inside or on the left.
Okay, so then Martinelli and Trossard, one of them has to go.
Well, both of them are arguably elite anyway. They're not good enough anyway.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I agree they're trash. We all agree they're trash. Does Arteta agree that they're trash? Because you guys always leave this out of the equation. Look at it from the manager's perspective. If you tell me what is going to happen, Arsenal are not going to spend 80 million on Kudus in January. They're not. I agree with Staffy. Because not just about the nature, it's just also about the manager. Look at the patterns of Mikel Arteta. Look at the things that he's done. Look at what he said in his last press conference. I think he's going to go with Havertz, Martinelli, or Trossard on the right-hand side until Saka's back. He's not going to he's not going to sign a player that competes with Bukayo Saka or is near Bukayo Saka's level, because that brings him a problem and a headache in the future that he does not want to have, because he's not that type of manager.
So he's a weak
that's why I agree with Staffy's take. I think if Arsenal are to sign someone in January, then they're going to sign someone maybe who's a squad rotation option, someone who's a 30 million pound player. I don't know who. No name comes to mind, so don't ask me who. But I'm saying someone of that level who comes in, you're going to replace Saka for 2-3 months. What's
Sterling being there, Hussam, then? Why is he there?
I mean, Sterling was supposed to be that guy, and maybe he does play. Maybe he does play on the right-hand side. I don't know.
Sam, Sterling is the proof that they don't even make these moves. Because when they needed this move.
Yeah, that's why we agree. I don't think they will do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just reassuring it. In the summer, when they needed a big move, and you had 3 months to go and get a player, they waited until deadline day, and they got a reject from Chelsea who got his numbers stripped away from him, and he had no place in that team, and they got him on loan. That's the type of business they did in the summer, when they had all the time in the world to assess all the options. All summer, they talked about, what was his name? Nico Williams, Eze, I saw Sani links, I saw everyone, and then they went for the worst option possible. None of us would take.
They didn't want him, really, did they? Though they didn't want him, really.
But what confidence should I have now, LB? By the way, I said I agreed with you that would be the right move. But what confidence should I have in
No.
Arsenal with the
No, I
way they've been
agree.
operating over the last 2 years that they will make a move like that.
No, they're not going to make a move. And I agree with you. We're not arguing. But the reason why I get annoyed about this situation is like, at what point are Arsenal? So what? The Saka's now injured. Yeah, they're not out the race. I don't think they're going to win it. I think Liverpool have pretty much won it unless Salah gets a mad injury, right? But listen, they could win it. So are they just not going to make a move now? Is their season done and dusted because they're not going to make a move? You can't buy another squad rotational player. So look at the goals Saka's getting. Look at the amount of assists Saka's getting this year. A squad rotational player is not going to do that. They need to get a quality player. And then people keep on saying, well, what are you going to do when Saka's back? It's up to the manager to find out. Not being funny. Marino's not exactly tearing up trees. Odegaard's got 20 assists in 5 years. Yeah, which is wild. People go on like Odegaard's this amazing creative player. Kevin De Bruyne got 22 Premier League assists in one season. Odegaard's got like 25 in 5 years, mate. So let's chill on that one. Yeah, so what's that? We're just saying the Arsenal season's over now. Is that what we're saying?
Rashford.
Do you know what?
We're laughing about it. It
might be. It could be Rashford. Do you know what's interesting, right? The one. Listen, there's loads of excuses that could make sense, but the whole "what about when Saka comes back?" that for me is if I was an Arsenal fan, that would frustrate the living daylights out of me as a comment, because, well, when Rashford comes back, you see how the land lies. You see how well Kudus is doing. Maybe he plays. I know everyone says he's not a left-sided attacker, but he can play there. It gives you options and it gives you real, genuine, bona fideable depth. And sometimes players do play out of position. And I'll give people an example. Wayne Rooney could play on the wings. Wayne Rooney could play as a 10. Wayne Rooney could play as a 9. And the amount of times that helps Man United in a very successful period for us, because you'd say, right, do you know what? We need a bit more creativity from the sort of 10 role as it was, but we need extra goals as well. So we can go and get Van Persie because Rooney can drop that little bit deeper. If Rooney was a one-dimensional player, it would have been, we need more goals and more creativity. Oh, we've actually got to go and buy a 10 and a striker. We didn't need to do that at that particular time. And I think that's what Arsenal fans have got to look at this as. Well, there's real competition for Saka. So if Saka isn't playing well, somebody else comes in. There's competition for Odegaard. They were missing. When Odegaard went out injured, they didn't have anyone with that level of creativity. You've now got that in Kudus. And listen, he's not predominantly a left-sided attacker, but he's better at it than Martinelli is. So you've suddenly got a better left-sided attacker, someone that can then challenge Odegaard and Saka for their positions, which is only, in any team that wants to be successful, is only going to make you sharper, stronger, more up for it. You need that quality. And for me, I've got a gut feeling they won't do this. I saw a lot of Arsenal fans talking about it. There's a few links in the media because he's a player they've liked before. I disagree with Lawless when Lawless says can't happen, won't happen. The only way this doesn't happen is if Arsenal don't make it. I mean this, no disrespect to West Ham fans. Sorry, Lawless, I know you're watching. Merry Christmas. But if Arsenal
apologize to that bald fraud, hold that, Lawless.
I will. But if Arsenal make the bid, Kudus is saying goodbye, Auf Wiedersehen, bonsoir, see you in a bit. I'm off to North London. I don't mean it rudely. He is too good for West Ham, and I don't mean it horrible. But he's going. This is on Arsenal. If they want the player, go and get him. Anyone saying, though, what about Saka? What about the gateways? Listen, don't worry about Waneri. Don't worry about Martinelli. Don't worry about Saka. That's for them to work out. If Waneri's good enough, he'll make it into your team. And this is, I've said it before. Someone says, "Oh, Terry, but you want your young players to do well." I do. I really do. But if we can, I don't want to not sign Kvaratskhelia because Garnacho might turn into a good player. Please don't have a fit, Staffy. Like, I don't care. Equally, if we had a chance now to sign a world-class right attacker, I wouldn't be worried about Ahmad. Ahmad's great, but if he's going to be the level that we need, he can handle the competition.
This is the first time we've all agreed. We've literally all agreed. We're all saying it should happen and it would make them better, but they are just not going to do it. That's just the problem.
Well, why are there so many Arsenal fans against this? I've seen so many Arsenal fans in the comments saying, "No, we can't do this. We can't." Like, why not? Why are you against it?
There.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, not only. By the way, this injury, you could partly put this down to Arsenal themselves, right? Because we've said this for so long, that they've needed a backup right winger. Right, I'm just going to look at his stats here. 2021-22. 2020-21, he played 32 Prem games. The next year, 38 Prem games. 38 Prem games the season after, 35 Prem games last year, and he's played 16 so far this season. They play Saka pretty much every single game they get the opportunity. They don't rotate him properly. And by the way, yeah, if they do get someone like a Kudus, who knows? It could push Saka on to higher levels because then he's got proper competition. It could.
Okay, I'll put it to you this way. Let me give my club as an example because people in the chat love crying. I've got the best player in the world playing right wing. I am not saying no to signing Lamine Yamal. There's an example I always give. There was an NBA draft that changed the history of the National Basketball Association about 40, 50 years ago. There was a guy that was advising the Portland Trail Blazers. They said we needed the center. He told them, draft Michael Jordan and play him at center. And they didn't listen to him. And then they let MJ go to the Bulls and the rest is history. When you have the ability to sign one of the best players in the world, you sign him. No one cares about the other guy. If I sign Lamine Yamal, Adi will find a way. We'll play Yamal on the 10, Salah on the right. We play Salah up top, Yamal on the right. No one cares. We'll just switch it up in a way where I can get the best out of both. And that's the thing that Arsenal fans should say. However, they don't think that way. And I'll tell you where that comes from. Sorry, Arsenal fans. You know I defend Saka. You know I think Saka is better than Palmer and Foden. But let me just say this. This comes from a bit of insecurity. Because Arsenal fans might be worried that Kudus might turn up to be a lot better than Bukayo Saka. And then Bukayo Saka might have to be dropped from the team.
Yeah, but that's fucking weird.
That's honestly what I think, if you want my honest opinion.
Well, that's just so strange if you think like that as a fan. That's so weird.
Would you put it past these Arsenal fans,
LB? You're talking about the same fan base.
I'm just trying to think like them. That's what I'm trying to think.
That's the same fan base that they said. Remember that video that went viral a year or two ago? And they're like, would you sell Saka to win the Premier League or something like that, or the Champions League?
Champions, even worse.
They forgot that the purpose of these players being there is for them to win trophies anyways. So I would have put it past them. But I actually have another narrative that I want to bring in here. And I really am not saying this out of spite or to celebrate injuries or anything. I don't think Saka, with this first hamstring injury that he got with the amount of football that he played, is he ever going to be the same again? Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not hoping that he becomes Reece James levels, because look at Reece James. He plays every 2-3 games, and his hamstring is done again. Oh, but it is factual, and Terry will tell you, or anyone who played sports will tell you, once you get that first major hamstring issue, especially in a sport like football, where you run, I don't think anyone runs more in a team sport than footballers do. Once that hamstring is gone, you do tend to pick up that 1, 2, 3 hamstring injuries a season. You'll randomly see him out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It happens all the time. I'm someone who watches the NBA a lot, and NBA is known for hamstring issues all the time. And once a player gets that first big hamstring issue, it stays with them their whole career. Like, you never become the same again. So I'm not saying he's going to become a Reece James, but you will find yourself now in a lot of situations when he's back, and I hope that he stays healthy when he's back, because I don't want to see a good player injured. He will get that injury, and then you'll see every here and there, he can no longer play that 3 games a week like he used to. Like, the way Arteta used him, and he honestly, the way he overused him over the last 3-4 years, you won't be able to see that again. The guy, the amount of minutes he got in his legs, and he's 23, this guy has the same amount of minutes and games played as players that are about to touch 30. That is crazy to see. So you will need that quality now. You can no longer get away with not having a backup.
I just look at it. I get where you're coming from, and I just think, listen, there are some Arsenal fans who have that, like, I need Saka to be the guy because I've always backed him. It's the same as there are Arsenal fans that I think want Arsenal to win some trophies, not for Arsenal Football Club to say I was right about Arteta. I think there are some Arsenal fans that want Arsenal to lose so they can say they were right about Arteta. And I don't think it's specific to Arsenal fans. I think all clubs that have gone through negativity. Look at City in the last few weeks, LB. I have never seen so many City fans say nasty things about your players and manager. And I'm not saying not criticism. Criticism is fair. Like, you must have seen some of the weird, abusive things that people have written. Imagine 20 years of the fans feeling like that on social media. Some of the agendas would run so deep, and it almost becomes, for some people, when you're not challenging for titles regularly, it becomes sort of becomes ingrained within the fan base to focus more on personal agendas, wishes and wants, and player FCs. And I think that when your team starts to get better, I think it takes a long time. I think it takes winning the trophies to almost flush that out of you a little bit. And we've seen it in the social media era with both your clubs, Liverpool and City. where when you're at your pomp, and Liverpool's was always the funniest because I remember they all used to say, when we start going through bad times, you won't see our fans screaming into cameras, tweeting horrible things online, behaving like Arsenal fans or Chelsea or United. And as soon as Liverpool hit a bad period, it started. City, you've literally been awful 12 games, one of the the worst run of a defending champion ever. But some of the and I'm not talking about you, some of the stuff people have said is crazy. Can you imagine magnifying that for 20 years? There'd be some right weirdos left. You know? And I'm not because they're City fans, but just because they're human beings. And I think there's like a 20% part of the population that are just proper weird, like genuinely weird. But yeah, look, they've got to buy someone. I think we all agree on that. There's some super chats here I want to jump into. First one says, here for the membership, big up yourself. Where we hit 16. We hit 16, right? I'm going to start a new goal and extend it for you, or we'll get that done. Every United fan should be screaming for our club to sign, Arsenal, to sign Kudus or similar level players. Arteta is warning the board in his presser. Merry Christmas. I hope he did warn the board.
I don't think Arteta's warning the board.
I haven't listened to the press conference. I don't know. I don't listen to the press conference. I wouldn't know.
He said they have 4 options there.
Oh, okay. As an Arsenal fan, Kudus is only signing. That makes sense. Semenyo is a close second. In terms of centre forwards, Arsenal fans need to accept they are getting Seshko since the coaching staff is obsessed with this dude. Nate here says every Arsenal fan should be screaming at. Sorry, I already done that one. Oh, my apologies. Sorry. This here says Staffy, we put 80 million down for Caicedo last January or January before last. So what shows we won't try that again this season? Kudus can play as a centre forward. Plus, we are looking at Almo.
Did they put 80 million for Caicedo in January?
Yeah, 2 Januaries ago they did. Yeah, and they didn't get
2 January ago. Yeah, but that was different. Arsenal, they're trying to build to something. Now they are at that something.
Come on, man.
Also, I saw we need to end this Olmo talk because I saw LB the fraud as well yesterday on his stream. Oh, we should sign Olmo. Olmo just signed for Barca. He ain't gonna live 6 months later to sign for a club. So allow it.
Well, that's what they're saying. That people are saying that apparently they might have to sell him or something.
Nah, they don't have to sell
him on or something.
No, they don't have to sell him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know this. You've spoken to the Barcelona.
No, but they pull a lever, and I read on that league, and I watch La Liga when I can because it's on beIN Sport.
Money talks, man. You guys are doing the very calculated thing of saying Arteta won't sign anybody. It absolves KSE of responsibility. The manager wanted Neto. I mean, a lot of Gooners will say this as well, to be fair, that the manager wanted, as he says, Shesko, Nico Williams, Neto, Caicedo, and others, and the board hasn't delivered. Is this all on Arteta, or do you think this is about Arsenal owners?
No, because this isn't fair, right? Because what this guy's saying is it's like, oh, well, you know, the manager wanted Neto, Nico, and Sesko. Well, the manager also wanted Fabio Vieira. The manager also wanted Marino, who doesn't look good enough. Yeah, the manager also wanted that left back, centre back guy that they signed from Italy or whatever, who's not good enough. Yeah, no, there's argument for him now as well. But who's the other guy they signed? What's he called, man? They signed him to last January, the season before that. He's like a left back, sort of centre back guy. Kivior. The guy also wanted him, yeah? So, like, bro, you cannot just say, oh, well, it's all the owner's fault because the manager's also bought these bozos, man.
Arsenal to go for a loan with an obligation to buy Xerxes. They did want Xerxes. Xerxes was high up on Arteta.
Yeah, Xerxes, Rashford, let's go.